I'm assuming that's on your bike.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Scotty at work had
I
to
my
put his
chain.
push bike into the shop the other day.
I did the chain, and I did some cleaning, but I didn't do the pannier racks because they get so rusty. Dean takes them off every so often and does it with a thingy to get all the rust off. You know, like my Dremel, something like that, maybe a bit bigger. That may be used as my Dremel.
I got a Dremel somewhere in amongst my cupboards and whatnot.
Yeah, so have I. I never use it. I never use anything these days. I've got all this craft stuff, and I never use it because I'm too bloody knackered.
I know what the feeling. By the time I finish work, I get home and I do what I got to do at home. It's like I don't even eat most nights. I can't be asked. I'm too
I
tired.
never do because if I go to bed and my stomach says it's hungry, I can't sleep now. I used
Oh,
to be
I
able to,
don't.
but I can't now.
I just pass out as soon as my head hits the pillow. I'm so tired all the time.
And I've got that pain back. It's round the kidney area.
That's why I've taken the 3 weeks off work when the kids are back at school. Because I'm going to be to and from school most likely to deal with stinky bottoms. Because Kai still will not use the toilet
Oh,
9
is
out of
he
10
going back?
times. Well, hopefully he's starting. I don't know. I got to contact the headmaster to see if they'll let him in. But he's 5. He's already missed a year because he refuses. He can use the toilet. That's the thing. He can use the toilet. He just doesn't want to. No amount of you don't get any treats works. No amount of rewards when he does use it because he wants a reward every single time he uses it.
The trouble is, that's what I think about animals and that. They give them rewards every time they do something they're supposed to. And then you think to yourself, yeah, but then you've got to give them all the time.
Yeah, I'm
And the
trying to teach.
reward is something that should be given for something that's
Well,
done. Not.
Seth and Jarrett both understand the reward system in our house. You do well, you get rewarded. You do bad, you don't. It's as simple as that.
Mm,
If you do the things you're supposed to do, you get rewarded. If you don't do what I've asked you to do, you don't get rewarded.
yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a simple rule. I've got the same rule in place for eating their dinners and things like that.
Mm.
That's the rule. Kai is pig-headed.
That's because of course Jared.
Well, Jarrett doesn't get away with it either.
No, I know Jared don't get away with it, but he watched Jared do it, didn't he?
Well, they reckon Seth's on the spectrum at school,
Yeah.
and I reckon if Seth's on the spectrum, then Kai most likely is too. Now, all 3 of our kids with autism.
Well, looking at some of the way I am, I might be a bit autistic as well.
I
Because
don't
Tony
know.
is. Katrina's got Asperger's and dyslexia, and yeah, I reckon she's on the verge of it. So if my brother is, and my son is, or my daughter is, you know, chances are we've all got a bit of it. You, Tanith, Terry, yeah, all of us. Terry had what they called naughty boy syndrome when he was young, didn't he?
Yeah,
Nowadays he'd get called autistic.
yeah, it could be because Kai's along them lines. He acts very much like Terry did as a child.
Mm,
But unlike when we were kids, though, there is no discipline anymore. There is no control anymore.
no,
The kids can pretty much do what they want and get away with it, and they know it.
that comfortable boy.
Oh, it is. He sleeps in that drawer all the time.
Yeah, but not for the drawer. It's the fact that he's got this red thing sticking in his eye.
You know what cats are like. Yeah.
There you go. Right. There you go. You haven't got that thing sticking in your eye, you monkey. Yeah. Oh, he misses you. You're more comfortable now. He is.
Ah!
What's it,
Excuse me.
Vicar?
Well, I'm live, and there's obviously the only person viewing is my what was it account up there. You're seeing that as there's a few seconds delay between my software picking up what I'm doing and it going onto the screen.
Oh, that's the burp.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, excuse me. Now you're telling me about being live.
Hmm.
So technically it's not quite live then.
No, there is a few second delay because it has to be
Jet lag.
uploaded and then YouTube has to push it out through my channel analytics and all that sort of crap. I've only got 4 subscribers on this channel, so I very much doubt anybody's going to come in and start chatting on the live. But I'm trying to grow this channel because this is the one I want to be for reacting to the way the world's going, documenting the way the world's going, despite YouTube's ownership wanting to shut down people like me. As long as we don't go into things that we don't supposed to talk about, and as long as we don't encourage things that we're all against, which is the violence from all sides of this fucking shit in this country, not just the white English.
It's everywhere.
It is.
In that riot, I saw some people that looked like, remember the skinheads? The short trousers and the
Most of the riots
shaved head?
didn't
And
start.
then I saw some that had full
Yep.
total covering on.
Because most of the riots didn't start, they don't show this in the mainstream media, but most of the riots did not start with violence in mind. A small group of people, thugs,
Oh yeah, there's always someone else that
nasties,
goes in there. They're told to go in there and cause problems. Yeah,
yep, and
they've always done that.
that's what kicked off the riots. That's what kicked off the violence.
That's what always does it.
That's
They
what
always
always,
send
yep,
somebody in to cause trouble.
yep. And then, of course, some idiots decided to attack a mosque, which enraged the Muslim population of the country. So now they're out in force, tooled up and being ignored by the police. You know what I mean? And it's,
Swear to it, but the ones in black that were hiding their faces totally.
where's my pad?
Yeah,
Um,
they I think were the Muslim ones that was causing problems.
no, the problem we have, the main problem we have in this country is immigration. The amount of people coming into never mind. The amount of people who are coming into this country unchecked, unvetted, the level of sexual assaults, shall we put it, has risen by over 500% up north. The amount of people being attacked and knifed in this country has risen by, I can't remember the level. Not being reported, of course, because it's all these immigrants.
Well, the population has got bigger.
It's not just that. It's like we've got a massive housing shortage in this country.
Yeah,
Um,
they're not
and the councils, yeah, the councils are now giving the immigrants housing before English.
That won't help. That'll make people not like them.
It's not the immigrants' fault. Most of the immigrants that come here are not violent,
No.
nasty people. Yeah, they might be Muslims, and the majority of them might want what the far right Muslims do want in this country, which is Sharia law, and turn the country into a Muslim state. Because did you know that through the Houses of Parliament, they've tried to push a bill. I don't know if it's succeeded.
Gonna talk to Dad.
Chicken nuggets. Um, they've tried to push a bill through the House of Commons, and I don't know if it's succeeded because I haven't been paying attention to what's going on last few days, obviously. And that basically is to decentralise the English church from the state. So Christianity will not be the English religion, which leaves the door wide open. Because we have 80 Sharia law courts in this country. And this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to start a civil war in this country, but not between us and the elites who we're supposed to be fighting, but between other people.
Yeah.
Because we're all the same. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Asian, fucking Chinese. It doesn't matter. If you're
They're all
born,
good and bad amongst
yeah,
all of
if
us.
you're
Yeah.
born in this country. I mean, look at Niall. Niall's Muslim, one of the nicest men you could ever meet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? His wife's a nice woman. His children are well, they're grown up mostly now, but his kids are well.
If they take over, he'll be in trouble
Yeah.
because he's got a white wife.
No, 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 no. She's Muslim, so it doesn't matter. It's not about race. It's about faith. The Muslim religion is spread all over the world, and it contains members of every race.
Yeah, but have you noticed how many different
Same as the
types of
Christian religion.
Muslim
Yes, there are.
there are?
Unlike the Christian religion, see, in this country we have the Protestant is our centralized religion. I wanted to be a soldier. Katrina wanted to be a policeman.
Yeah. See, they all change. You all change
Yeah,
your
when you're a
minds
kid, because
because you
was
don't
it
know what you want.
in here we have I can't remember what it's called, central cortex or something. Can't remember what it's called. You'd have to
No,
ask,
that's actually got it right.
intelligent people. That is not fully
You're
formed.
intelligent.
That is
I
not
know, it's excruciatingly painful.
Mm,
that is not fully formed until you're 25.
yeah.
So until you're 25, you're making decisions more by emotion than by thought. It's a proven scientific fact. That's why, especially when you're a teenager and your hormones are all over the place, you're not the same person you were before. And that's why once you get to like early 20s to middle 20s, you start to, unless of course you're like me and have anger issues, and then you got to deal with it.
Well, like me, 3 weeks of every month, I was a bitch
I mean,
because
it's
it was the hormones and the bloody periods and stuff.
Yep.
yeah,
That's the roller coaster ride that I don't really like to ride.
that is basically.
I'm glad I had the hysterectomy.
Why do you think the woke
I
movement
don't even know
targeted the
that's
youth in
different.
colleges, in high schools and colleges? Because they're more easily brainwashed, because they're more easily controlled by emotion. And we live in a society nowadays where truth is silenced so that it doesn't offend the feelings of other people. We're living in a society where they're rewriting history to match their modern conceptions of how things should have been, while villainizing mostly white people. Um, it's like the wokies, they all believe it, and they're idiots. I mean, you've got in Afghanistan, not Afghanistan, Palestine at the moment, you've got the Jews and the Palestinians, so Jews and Muslims once again at war. You got to look at the history of the region. Now, I don't agree with the Israelis going in and killing women and children. I don't agree with that 100%, but I also don't agree with Hamas killing women and children, right? But
Nobody should.
all of these protesters you've got out here parading up and down the bloody streets screaming "Free Palestine," a lot of them are these young wokies, non-binary, gay, lesbian. If they went to live in Palestine under
They'd get
Sharia
killed.
law, they'd be imprisoned or killed. That's the men. The women would be forced into marriage because they would just be objects. But you can't tell these people that because they can't conceive of it in their brains because they've been programmed.
What brains?
They have got brains. They're not stupid. That's the
How
thing.
about they bloody use them for a change?
Because they believe what they're taught.
They believe it.
We don't believe it. We've got open minds. We think, oh, is that right or is that right?
I look at all
Wait a
sides
minute.
of everything. Always
But
have done.
we've got open minds, so we know not to
Hmm.
sort of jump in somewhere where we're not
Okay.
wanted, sort of thing. You
Passively
know what I mean?
accusations, accusing, yep.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't take anything on face value.
I don't. I
I
always
just
do my own
roll.
research.
Neither will you. So, you know,
And my kids are going to grow up learning that. Hopefully, before the state takes them to educate them in state camps, which is what they've got planned.
Decides to take
that
our children
reminds me of
away.
a film
I
that
think you
was on
thought I'd
television
have a family of
where
my
they
own and I'm
took
not
all the
giving it up
children away.
now.
Mm.
And then they started mass producing the children without male and female. Like
Isn't that
taking
called
eggs and
illegal?
sperm and stuff and just,
That's what that most
That was
people
a good
don't
film on
believe it.
television. I remember seeing that. Sci-fi.
Most people don't believe that
I keep saying that we're heading towards what these
Thing is
films
though,
are
the
saying.
person
We're
that
saying.
it's
loves
called they're
free
called the
will is
New
not
World
willing to
Order or the
compromise.
globalist elites. They want a one world government. They want a one world police force, a one world military. They want to reduce population from the 8 billion to down to 500 million or thereabouts. In this country, Charles has already signed up to reduce our population down to 20 million. So we're allowing all these immigrants in,
So
but
how's
they're
that
planning on
reducing
reducing.
our
How?
population?
Easy, because it creates civil unrest. It creates violence and riots in the street, which is what we're seeing right now. And the more violence and riots in the street, the more the government can go stamp. until they have us 100% controlled, at which point they will mandatory vaccinate us, at which point we will be fed dumbed down food, because that's what this food does. It dumbs your brain down, and it causes cancer and heart disease, so they keep you on medication. And
So do those COVID jabs.
yes, all of it. It's all part of it. We got monkeypox about to hit the shores.
But I don't know if it's going to hit the shores.
We got Klaus Schwab of the WHO trying to push a treaty which gives him the legal right to take over a country's pandemic laws and enforce his pandemic rules and laws.
That's the
You know what I mean?
United Nations that's doing that.
Yeah, but it's under the WHO, the World Health Organization. Klaus Schwab. And it's like you got Bill Gates, who's trying to, who's not only involved himself in fake meat production, lab-grown meat, which has proven scientifically to cause cancer. Um, he's also buying up as much farmland, and him and other billionaires
He'll get
around the world,
killed eventually.
buying off all the farmland they can get hold of. He's also the one that coats. The reason we've got coatings on all our vegetables these days, which again are carcinogenic and cause cancer and heart disease,
Yeah,
and
well,
they
they
can't be
always do
washed
it now
off.
until they get rid of it.
Yeah, it can't be washed off. I mean, you when we were kids, you got a bowl of apples, left them out on the counter. Within a week, they started going soft and rotten. Now they're lasting weeks and weeks because of the chemicals that are, and all these chemicals are poison.
I
They're
know.
putting shit in the atmosphere, all these contrails, right? And this has actually come out and been proven again to be true. So once again, one of my conspiracy theories is true. They're putting shit in the atmosphere that is toxic to all life on this fucking planet. And what happens to shit in the atmosphere? It drops down. Why do you think we've got a lamb shortage in the shops? Because most of this year's lambs were born deformed or too sick to be used. Why do you think we're losing insects at a massive rate? Because they're the closest thing on the planet to the ecosystem, and they are dying off in their fucking billions.
I know. Them and birds.
This net zero nonsense. Every life form on this planet, whether you're meat or whether you're veg or wood, needs carbon to
Still
grow.
veg.
Yeah, every life form is reliant on carbon on this planet, and they want to reduce the carbon in the atmosphere. We're at the lowest level of carbon for hundreds of thousands of
They're trying
years.
to destroy everything, aren't they? Well,
Meanwhile,
it won't do them any good if they
Meanwhile,
destroy that.
unsubstantiated rumours, I don't know if this is true or not, but it has been reported like people like Mark Zuckerberg and other millionaires and billionaires are building bunkers under their properties and stocking them with decades worth of food and stores because they know what's coming. They are going to kill this planet in the name of a one world order. And what they've done is almost irreversible in our lifetimes. And no, actually, it is irreversible in our lifetimes. For all the toxins and chemicals that they've dumped on the planet in the last 50 years.
It's bad enough, all these houses they're building.
Yeah, and then none of them are for us.
They're taking away all the green. They leave the green empty, all the plants and animals move in.
Hmm.
And then they kill them all. To build these bloody houses that aren't even for us. They're
Hmm.
for Londoners and for foreigners.
And do you know why the Londoners are moving into the areas like this? Because it's not just Margate, it's all over the fucking country. They're moving away from London. Because London's no longer a safe place.
And
It's
it's
become so
expensive.
expensive to live there that even these middle class Londoners who earn like 5, 6, sometimes, tens of thousands a year more than I do,
Yeah.
right? If they can't afford to live in London, you've also seen our Muslim mayor of London, who has already stated he hates white people, right?
Then why do it now?
More and more Muslims in London.
That'll become Sharia law then, London.
They've probably already got Sharia law in several boroughs of London, but he's driven. This is on purpose, and the level of knife crime in London. It's not safe for people. It's not safe for anybody in big cities anymore, especially if you're white.
It's going like America then.
It is not safe for white people in a predominantly white country anymore.
Well, it's
And
not
that's not
predominantly white
racist, that's
anymore,
just the
is it?
fucking truth.
It's not predominantly white
It
anymore.
isn't. The problem is, as I stated in one of my TikTok videos, this country has my headset's shut down. Yeah, if I don't keep the volume or interact with it for every now and again, it shuts off everything. But yeah, no, the French don't want to invade us. But the antagonism between England and France was caused by those wars way back when and Joan of Arc.
There's the fanatics over in France
Right.
as well.
And every king, because the whole reason we had the English Civil War was because our king wanted to regain the lost territories in France. So he was in war after war after war and kept demanding money off the British people until the government finally went, no, we've had enough of this, and this is how the king lost his ability to disband Parliament.
Somebody at the door.
Yeah, they're viewing the flat upstairs. Cook and Co managing it now.
I noticed.
What was I saying? Yeah, it was because he decided, and he disbanded Parliament because they wouldn't give him the money he wanted, and he took direct control of the Treasury, right? And then Parliament was brought back when he needed more money, and they again tried to hold him to account, and he basically broke his word, and that's how the Civil War in England started.
Great.
And that,
Alzheimer's.
yep, and that was when the king or the royal family lost the ability to disband Parliament. Because I've heard people saying the king should step in and disband Parliament because of two-tier traitor Starmer. And I'm like, well, he can't. He has no legal right to do that. He lost that right hundreds of years ago during the Civil War.
Yeah.
The king is a figurehead. He has no real power.
I expect if he really pushed it,
Yeah,
because
the British people,
almost got one order thing.
the British people, as we stand now, I like to believe that most British people would step up and go, we back the king, get rid of this government, form a new government. But there are so many people in this country whose heads are in the sand, who refuse to see what's happening, who refuse to accept what's happening, that's not going to happen because there just isn't enough of us to challenge the elites. They have this country by the bollocks.
And even if you
And
don't
they're
stand
squeezing.
up, all they do is arrest you and put you in
Yeah.
prison.
That's why I've got to be very careful on how I describe stuff in my videos. One wrong word, I can be in prison for 3 years. Just for saying one word.
Well, they can't hear
Free
me, can
Britain!
they? I've started writing a thing on Word, how I feel about everything.
Yep.
Because if they get wind of that, then I'm in trouble.
No, it's only if it's published. The way things are at the moment, and I do agree with this, hate speech, inciting violence, is wrong.
It is wrong, yeah.
Right? People doing that, it's wrong. But there was a man sent to prison for selling stickers that said it's okay to be white
Oh, that's wrong.
in this country.
It
A
is
man
okay.
is sent to prison for waving our flag
Yeah, you should be allowed to.
in front of a mosque without saying anything, without disparaging the Muslims inside or any of the people around there. He just took a flag and was walking back and forth. Oh, that's apparently what was reported.
Well, look what happened to that woman when you were
Over
children.
2 years in prison.
She had a pig in her window. She'd had it in there for years. And some Asians moved next door or near her. And they caused a stink, took her to court, and they won.
Yeah,
She had to take the pig out the window. She'd had it there for years.
I know. Because it's offensive to their religion. The Muslim religion, all religions are protected in this country, which I agree with. Everybody should be allowed to worship whoever, whatever imaginary being they want to fucking worship, right? Without prosecution or persecution. But the Muslim religion has just been granted new protections under English law, under British law. We are not allowed now to question the Muslim religion. We are not allowed now to insult the Muslim religion. To do so is a hate crime and will send us to prison. No, but that's you should always be able to question a religion, right?
But not insult.
No, don't insult. I agree. Insulting is just childish, but you should always be able to question whatever somebody's trying to force feed you.
Yeah, if they're trying to force feed you, because I would just turn around and say, look, you've got your religion. I haven't got a religion. I don't want a religion apart from being a pagan. Therefore, religion as long as you're not trying to give it to me.
Mhm.
As long as you keep it to yourself. Because we don't want to be force fed other people's religions.
No, we don't, because we don't believe in it. Well, I don't believe in it.
Mm.
I have no trouble. Like I said, I have no problem, and I don't care that immigrants come into this country. If they're legal, they're coming over illegally. They're settling down. They're
Yeah,
integrating into
it's
the
the
country.
illegal ones that are the
It's
problem.
the ones that are coming over in the boats, because most of them, you see it. You don't see it so much on mainstream media, but you do see it on social media where people are down there with their phones recording these people coming off the boats. There are almost no women or children.
I
They are
noticed.
all fighting age young men.
Yes, yes, I've noticed. That's why I
This
think they're
this is not
starting an army.
immigration. This is
It's a
invasion.
takeover. Yeah.
This is a takeover, a hostile takeover.
I don't mind taking in women and children, and
I have no
even their husbands and
I have no
whatever.
problem with immigrants.
But when it's just young men on a boat, or loads of boats,
Yeah,
yeah, that's an invasion.
it is an invasion.
I
Mhm.
quite agree with that. I've
But
been saying that
you're not
all
allowed to.
along.
But
They're taking over the country.
yeah, there are whole areas where white people can't go anymore in this country, because if you step foot in those areas, you are either beaten or you're killed. Women,
And they get away with it
yeah,
too.
women, it's no longer safe for women and girls to roam the streets all alone, or even in pairs,
Yeah.
because unfortunately,
It has
these
been
people,
all along, really.
unfortunately, even the good ones, I say good ones, even the people who don't come here to cause trouble, they've been born and raised in a society which basically places women as possessions.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Take the black one.
So they're coming over
That's
here, and
it's hot.
even though they know that that's not the way things are in this country, they can't help that they were raised like that. So I mean, I watched a video the other day of some arrogant young arsehole got on a bus or a train, I can't remember what it was. There's two women, an elderly woman and a younger woman, sitting in chairs. He wanted their chairs, so he told them to move. They quite rightly, being England, a free country, said no. So he punched the window next to them, scared the shit out of them, forced them to move, then sat down, arm across the back of both chairs, legs spread across both chairs, looking arrogant as fuck, because he just forced these women out of their seats.
And the
That's the
driver didn't do anything.
Nobody did anything. If that had been me, I'd have smacked the cunt in the fucking mouth.
Then you'd have got in trouble.
I know I'd have got in trouble because that's the way the law
Was
works
he a
in this country.
foreigner?
Yes.
Yeah, that's why. Because women are second class citizens. Man says something, you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just if you're going to come to this country, come to this country. No problem. Do it legally. No problem.
They should live under our
Respect
laws, not
our
laws that they're out for
laws
themselves.
and customs.
Yeah, because that's the
Simple as
same
that.
if we go to any other country, we follow by their
Yeah,
rules.
we follow their
Yeah.
laws.
But unfortunately, we live in a society now where our laws and customs are a laughing stock, and we're not allowed to defend our laws and customs while they're being destroyed.
Well, it's coming, whatever. There's
Or
nothing we can do about it.
there is only
There's no hope.
no. It's too late to stop. As I said, as I've said several times. This is too late to stop it now. The hate and violence have been built up and built up and built up on both sides of this. People are just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse.
Mm.
And this country has got two ways to go. We can get rid of Starmer and force the elites out,
Mm.
and we might stand a chance, but it's a might. Or we are going to have a civil war in this country, and it won't be the British people against the elites who are trying to conquer us.
Mm.
It'll be the British people against the immigration system,
Comfortable to walk in?
The shoes weren't really long.
because
Nothing
that's the
long.
only thing I see happening. There's the third way.
Mm.
The fighting will stop. They'll enforce a police state, and then they'll start reducing the population with their fake jabs and whatnot.
Well, they're trying to cause a police state anyway.
Yeah,
There's a 15-minute travel law.
Yep.
You're only allowed to go 15
that's
minutes
the
from
new
your
world order.
house.
They wanna put in a system like China's. It's gone off again. Yep. That's the problem with this headset. If I don't keep bloody tweaking the volume or have something playing in the
I've got
background.
a lovely headset at home. It's pink.
So yeah, they've just whoever was listening, basically you just missed all that conversation. Good job, you're already here. We're basically talking about CBDCs and digital currency and 15-minute cities and why they're bringing them in, which is to control the survivors of their cull, basically, because they do intend to do all this shit, and their cull is going to involve a combination of fake vaccines, fake viruses. Well, it won't be fake, them just manufactured viruses like the manufactured vaccines, which will cause heart conditions and whatnot. Because more people died from the vaccine.
If I die from a heart attack, you know that I've been given something that's killed me because my heart is perfect.
More
My chest
people,
isn't, but my heart is.
more people have apparently. I'll say apparently, because I'll probably get done for misinformation as I've done before on here. But apparently, more people died from the COVID vaccination worldwide than actually died from COVID. And we know that because, well, we know that they inflated COVID death numbers to create panic. Because everybody who died who had COVID, you could have been killed in a motorcycle accident.
Yeah.
But if you had
And
COVID
you
when
could
you
have died
died,
from other things.
right, if you had COVID when you died, they put you down as a COVID death.
Oh, they did that even if you didn't have COVID.
Right, so then,
Anybody that died went in for the bad chest because that's one of the symptoms of COVID, isn't it?
yep.
They put them down as dying through COVID.
But that's what they've done. They've basically forced, they created a massive amount of panic in the population.
Not necessarily. Some people that have been claimed to be thingy with COVID have actually been put down as diagnosed with something else.
What
Clearly
I'm
it was
going
the
to
jab.
do is I am going to put something on in the background, so very low level, to keep my bloody microphone from switching off. Let's put some Asmongold on.
Copyright.
No, as long as you can't hear it and they can't see it. So his voice will be really low in the background.
Or non-existent. There we go.
Just enough that the microphone can still pick it up a little bit so it doesn't turn the microphone off. If I had some uncopyrighted music, I'd put that on. But Asmongold's good. I like Asmongold. He says it as it is.
Yep.
I like people like that. But yeah.
Can I go make myself a cup of tea then?
I can go make you a cup of tea if you
You're
want.
busy.
I want to roll myself a cigarette.
And make yourself another coffee.
I better not.
say, a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Well, there you go. First picture.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, she's so
kitty.
cute. She looks darker in real life than she does there. She's got the
Might have been the light.
blackish face and the blackish paws and the black tail.
Yeah.
Just like a Burmese, and she's dark.
You see that little dot with the red number? I think you got a message there.
Possibly.
Yeah.
That's Jenny, my friend Jenny. She's got Emmy as well. She used to ride a motorbike a long time ago when with me.
What
We
about
used to
she
ride
had?
together.
What about she had?
She had a big one.
That's what she said. Sorry.
Let's see if I can get a bigger picture of it. It's a little girl. You can see Burmese by the ears and the. But she's she was so sweet. I kept saying I want to take her home. I want to take her home.
Yeah, it's the same with us. You still want to take Salem home.
Jane Lorcan. I don't know you, Jane.
You sure?
Yeah, she's a friend of somebody that I do know, but I don't know her. Age UK. Oh.
Ah, okay.
Unless she's something. I'll save the winter fuel payments for travelling pension.
Sorry, honey. No years. I told you I don't get any unless I show cleavage. Whee!
Jane Lorcan.
Like I said, I'm not going to get any views on this channel anyway because I put this as a test stream, so nobody knows what it's about anyway.
Just sign the petition. That's what she wants me to do.
Just seeing if anybody's gonna, come through. See if somebody comes through and goes, "What the fuck's going on there?"
What's what?
Do I have to give the post?
Oh, the camera.
Yeah, it moves. For tracking your face, isn't it? Oh.
It doesn't matter how many times you like on here, it's not going to get anything.
What?
It has to get through YouTube's algorithm, and firstly, this channel, as you've probably seen if you looked at my videos, has been mostly dissing the government and the elites while calling for peace and unity of the British people. So this channel is not being pushed anyway. And the chances of somebody randomly coming across it and thinking, "Oh, I'm going to look at that," is next to zero. And that is just how it is.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep my email address.
Why would you not keep your email address unless it's compromised?
No, because I've cancelled BT. I've gone through BT.
They
let me keep it before, but I don't know if they're going to let me keep it now.
They can't take your email address. I think I've still got one of my old AOL email addresses.
It's got hundreds of flipping things saved in it. I'll
I,
put it in there anyway, just to see.
well, I synced up my Google and my Outlook emails so I could get basically cross platforms with the emails, and it never worked. So I don't know.
Yeah, you and everybody else. Yeah, well, I don't want to be in this house, but hey-o. Aren't having children wonderful? Oh, God.
That's alright, Squirt. He's nearly 7. Anybody who watches this or gets this far into this, or just skips through it to find this section, he's nearly 7. He's autistic, so he reacts quite badly to pretty much anything that doesn't go his way.
Although I thought that was people in general, anyway.
I've got a zit or a spot or something on my forehead. Oh, I got a big forehead. It's because it's lost all its hair. Oh.
Dangling.
There is a long delay between
Yeah.
OBS and YouTube. That'd be at least a 10-second delay.
Mm.
That's going to make anybody who comes into chat go, oh, I'm not waiting around.
Mm. Hey, Max. Meow. What's wrong? Oh, is that right? Oh.
I could just
Oh,
about
he's got a
hear
pretty silent one.
Asmongold.
He's not like Raven, is he?
Nah,
The
Raven's
fall of
quieter.
Asmongold. Asmongold will never fall.
Yep, Asmongold. Do it, dude.
How to cure plantar fasciitis.
Well, Asmongold, as I'm talking over you, and I'm not
Pain in
really
the bottom of
showing
your
you on
knee.
stream. Sorry if this comes under your, what was it? But you can have it anyway, because nobody's watching. It's like it.
You did. Don't forget, on the phone and the computer, it's different.
I've got a thing on here, and it says, "Wish I can talk properly now. Stupid, Courtney."
What?
That's your sister.
What's her problem now?
Wish I can talk properly now. Stupid sore throat.
Oh.
I really got to figure out how to get the camera to fill the screen.
Hey, sweetie.
Because for some reason it isn't working to fill the screen.
Mm.
I did try and resize it, but it wouldn't have it.
Mm.
It just kept making it bigger or smaller,
I hope you feel better soon, sweetheart.
but not fitting the screen.
Mm.
Theme yummy. What the hell? I don't know what that is. Yeah, I can't change this because I'm streaming, obviously.
Mm.
Video. It is at 1920 1080. Output's the same. I know I could have it higher on my system, but there's no point. So I don't know why the camera won't link. Maybe I have to change it in.
Oh, there's one behind me. Oh,
Maybe I have to change it in
And there's
the
Richard.
broadcaster.
Meow.
I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. Trying to talk over Asmongold. Well, if I'm going to continue talking without silence,
There
then.
you go.
There.
There's a better picture of her. Is that
What?
wrong?
You're thirsty? I'm Daddy,
Yes,
nice to
Mum.
meet you.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's the tabby mum.
But you
No,
just
that's
said you
tabby.
hate
That's
me,
the
so
mum.
why should I go do
The
you a
Burmese
drink?
one.
That's what I mean. So that's the tabby mum.
Just telling me
Yeah,
you're
this is
thirsty is
Courtney,
not
not tabby.
asking, is
No, no,
it?
no. But that's the tabby and mum.
That's
Liz.
better.
Yes.
So just in case you're asking, wondering, I
Hey,
try
mum,
and make my
you're
children use
tabby's
their
the mum.
manners
That's the mum. The cat.
before I
Tabby's
accede
the
to
mum.
their wishes,
Angel.
like asking politely with a please
Baby.
and thank you.
What have I done? Did he tell me?
Maybe you can put it Sirana or Sirani or Cyrano. It's similar, but it begins with a C. Cyrano.
Cyrano de Bergerac.
I made
Yeah, but you
recognition.
can see her a dark face. She's definitely a Burmese.
If you want, I'm just going to go do Jared a drink.
Right.
It's lovely that.
Ugh. Hello, me again.
like I said, I've had people appear in my Facebook follow list that I've never heard of. I'm sure Facebook is adding people, most likely to keep an eye on what you're saying or what you type in, so they can report it to whichever dictatorial authority is in control of whichever country. Oh yeah. Oh my god.
She's put on here, I remember the Kingdon Tavern.
Kingdon Tavern.
London Tavern. Remember the London Tavern?
Yes, I remember the London Tavern.
Closed now.
I also remember the one that used to be down near the harbour. That was a good biker place before middle class Tospos took it over. And everybody's in. It also turned into a middle class Tospot pub.
See this young man? You've never met him. That is Tony's oldest child.
Yeah, you showed me a picture of that the other day, and you got a call from them when you came round here.
Did I?
Yeah. Said,
Did you see it? Because you've never seen him.
I don't know.
He's next to Tony. That's Timmy. Timmy! Right, now we go over that way.
No, I've never met him.
No, you won't have done. Neither have I. I didn't even know he existed. Until he was reaching out to his dad. Why do I keep getting the alarm come up?
I don't know.
I don't know, I keep getting that for Twitch or something. I think it's because you've linked your Twitch to, so your old schedule keeps coming up on mine.
She's had this since Saturday.
This is the other reason I don't go live on TikTok. I want to be out of fucking smoke.
The more of us that wish her better, the more chance she's got of getting better.
Kidding, she's stubborn like my mother. She'll get better no matter what.
If
She's
that's
actually
her
worse
on the
than my mother.
picture, her face is very swollen by the looks of
Da-dum,
it.
da-da-da-dum, da-dum.
If that's her on the picture.
That's an old photo. It's not going to be blinking. She's not going to parade it around the front country. So thank you for that.
Coprrectly Gauge UK.
I'll stop this soon. Not gonna get anybody come in.
How long have you been going live for?
Don't know, 1 hour something by the look of it.
Alright.
Or is that 2 hours? I can't see.
148 ancient
Nice.
tombs.
1 hour 21 minutes. But the first like half an hour there wasn't any mic down. So, you know. We shall see what we shall see.
Yep.
Which we shall see nobody. Because nobody wants to chat to old fools. Who are considered by most people to be conspiracy theorists. And far right thug. Even though I do not advocate and I'm against all forms of violence and thievery and destruction of property. But no, I won't get any views. This channel is dead because YouTube won't let it grow. Well, it's a combination of YouTube won't let it grow because they won't push my content out because it goes against the narrative. There's this face which is going to scare most people away, especially these teeth.
What, you think I am any better?
State of the NHS. And obviously doing these lives. I mean, my videos have had views, but nobody's liking or commenting on them because we've got the added compounding of this country now that if you do anything that can be deemed as going against the new laws that they've put in place, you can be arrested. I mean, I know I'm shadow banned on Facebook because none of my posts are getting any kind of likes or comments or dislikes or anything anymore. Not fucking one of them. So they've shadow banned me on Facebook. TikTok, my views tend to disappear after I get to about 200, even with people sharing my content. It doesn't get any further. so that I'm partially shadow banned on TikTok.
I don't do TikTok.
I suspect this channel is shadow banned as well. I can't prove any of this, but I suspect because my content goes against the narrative that this channel is also shadow banned. The only platform I can post on now that is not shadow banned, but the only people I tend to get viewing my stuff is I don't get any likes or follows or anything on there apart from women who are trying to sell me things I don't want because
Yeah,
I have a wife.
he's mine. Back off.
But yeah,
I remember seeing one of them up in the beck behind us at Seacroft.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, they're now nearly extinct. That
Oh,
one's
it's
in
a
York.
vole.
yep.
That's a water vole.
Huh, I thought voles were a little bit bigger.
Oh no, they can be quite small, but that's the large water vole. But I remember seeing that one of them in the beck. That was over 20 years ago.
Hmm.
But they reckon they've sorted out some of the becks in York,
Mm.
which is really what a stream is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, and they've been seeing these because it's all nice and clean for them, which is good.
Mm.
At least on my gaming channel, when I used to go live on there, I used to get people coming and troll me.
Yeah. Viva la trolls.
But like I said, this channel probably won't take off because of the content. The algorithm works against content like mine, unless you're an existing channel
Yeah.
with a lot more followers than my puny little four. And I got 2 of them followers off TikTok.
Where have you signed that petition?
Which one is that?
Save the pigs being in pig farms.
Mm.
It still keeps coming up, even though I signed it.
Yeah. And my view on farming is, I am a predator. I eat meat, but I do not like this factory-grown stuff.
No.
It is wrong.
Oh, it'd be good if you went from that to that, wouldn't it? I don't think there's anything on the market that'll take you from that wizened hand to that one.
Uh, no.
Right, that's all right.
But one of the conspiracies out there is that the elites have mastered transferring their consciousness from one body to a clone. That is yet again another conspiracy theory that I've heard that I don't necessarily believe.
Yeah, but that's not with its withdrawals as well.
AI could be a major threat in the future.
Yes.
Well, we already know that. Plenty of movies have shown that.
Oh no, they're planning on taking that hedge away. That's another load of wildlife dead.
Yep, they don't care.
He keeps saying sign a petition underneath what I'm reading. I think, oh yeah, I'll sign a petition for that.
If that keeps
And then it
happening,
turns out
I'm
to be
gonna
the
have
pigs.
to. If that keeps happening, I'm gonna have to join the tree huggers and saying, "Save the trees! We need our oxygen, you blinking dumbasses."
Dumbasses.
Yeah.
Dumbasses.
Yeah.
Actually, believe it or not, the trees, yes, do produce a lot of oxygen, and hemp could be used to replace almost all the products we get from wood.
Mhm.
But the greatest producer of oxygen on the planet is algae.
Yeah.
I think.
And where they contaminate in the oceans, that is dying off. It's also algae is what some natural large animals eat. Algae, krill, all that sort of stuff.
All right.
And you see great plumes of it sometimes in the oceans.
Yeah, that green stuff.
Well, then we better somehow start mutating ourselves to grow gills and survive under the water instead.
Why the water's going to be so badly polluted? All that shit they're pumping into the atmosphere to stop the sun warming the planet up, which is ridiculous because it is a natural event. They're not going to be able to stop it. It is a natural event. It is not to do with us forcing the planet to heat up. It is a perfectly natural event due to our orbit and the tilt of our axis.
Yep.
Or axis.
Yep. So make sure you've got plenty of vegetable oil. I mean, sunscreen to protect yourself.
Yeah, I wouldn't use sunscreen.
Well, there you go. Then use the oil.
There are certain chemicals in sunscreen which is not good for us.
Apparently,
Yeah.
people born before a certain
can't have tasty humans for treats then.
No. As I've said, we can't stop what's coming. All we can do is defend our own as best as we can till we drop. And by drop, I mean get put 6 feet under.
Which won't take very long.
Nope. Because too many of you are asleep.
Only pensioners
Too
and
many of
the
you can't
lowest
accept
incomes
what's
will get
happening.
cash.
Too many people are refusing to see what's happening, and too many people are afraid of adding their voice because of what could happen.
It's gonna happen anyway, so.
Do you think the Germans realised what was going to happen when they elected Hitler?
Nobody did.
No. Don't know about the Italians or Mussolini. And like I say, Stalin was a result of the Romanovs and
Yes, but that one made a great story.
World War One. But the ruler of China, communist China, he's got his police state already.
Oh, you mean pork one? What? Big enough to be pork.
No, you're thinking of North Korea.
Oops.
The Chinese president is not anything like the president of North Korea. They're allies, I believe, but yeah, they're not alike. And China is an authoritarian state. We are transporting so much of our recycling and waste to China at the moment, which is what's enriching their country. Not for most of the population, but for the elites of the country.
Yeah.
So I mean, and the amount of business. I mean, Temu, Shine, Wish. They're all Chinese companies. So they're making a fortune off us in the West.
You're welcome.
One of my favourite people on YouTube and other channels is obviously Nigel, aka Uncle Roger.
Yay, Uncle Roger!
And he is currently banned from China.
Oh, don't worry, Uncle Roger, we love you. Come to the. Oh, he's already in the UK.
No, he lives in the last up-to-date video I think I saw of his. He's living in America now.
Oh, come back to the UK. Come back to the UK.
No, don't stay where you are. You don't want to come here.
Take us with you.
No, can't even do that. What we need is an Elon Musk in this country to stand up with the money and the backing and rally the people, but it's not going to happen. All we've got is Nigel Farage, who is trying, but he's been blocked at every avenue by the government.
Yep.
He's not even, his people aren't even allowed to sit in committees or anything like that in the House. So they can't make any real changes at all. The only way they can do that is if they get more seats in the House than Labour. And Labour's making it so, as they've just installed a load of loyal lapdogs into the what they call them, civil service.
Yeah.
Who are supposed to be impartial to serve whichever government is in power. Whichever government takes over from them is not going to get anything done because they're going to be blocked by the civil service. And that, my dear, is the state of the country. Fucked. We're bollocksed. We are slaves in our own country, and pretty soon there won't be any white people because they'll kill us all. Yabba dabba doo. Oh, it's got really muggy again.
It's very hot in the house.
Yeah, this heat is annoying, but it's just going to keep getting hotter and hotter because we're in the phase of the planet warming up.
Yeah, I put a t-shirt on that had sleeves, and then I was indoors, and then I went outside to sort the bike out, and the bike, I'm going like this, looking up in the sky, going like this.
Yeah, unfortunately, the planet is warming up. We are in global warming. There's no two ways about that. With the planet is warming up. but it's only doing in naturally as
Mm.
Yeah,
our orbit
it
around the sun,
normally does,
because
and
we don't orbit the sun in a perfect circle.
No, it's a
we're
slight,
Over
slight,
elliptical.
slight oval.
over tens of thousands of years, our orbit is changing slightly,
Mm.
and that's how we warm up and cool
It's
down, warm up
elliptical
and
now
cool down.
rather than circular.
But you've also got the pivot of our axis, which is currently pivoting from one pole to the other, which again is going to change the way the heat falls on this planet.
Mm.
So we've got both of these events which are causing. This is what I've watched from lectures from real scientists, not the shills owned by the governments and the New World Order, but the real scientists. Um, this is what I've learned by watching their lectures.
Mhm.
Uh, yes, we are having a local impact on climate
Yeah, well, we
in
will
big
do.
cities with all the vehicles and factories and
And
people
the
using their
lights.
heating and the lighting. We are having a localized impact, but not global impact as is being stated. I mean, they're on about in countries like Canada, they've got to get to net zero. Well, just a minute, you've got how many billions of trees in your country? And if you do the math,
Mm.
you've got so many billion more trees in your country than your country is actually producing carbon.
Yeah,
So
there's trees in there that don't
all the
produce
carbon that's
carbon.
produced by the factories and the electricity and all that sort of stuff is actually being eaten by just by the trees. But
Mm.
everything green on the planet grows from carbon falling out of the sky, entering the soil, and being absorbed.
Yep.
Every living plant on the planet.
Yeah, it needs carbon. I think I've just put the wrong glasses away.
What?
These are reading glasses.
Yeah, that's nice. But that's the problem. See, everybody's listening to the shills, the scientists that are owned by the government, who've
Mm.
proven they don't know squat, just talking about the vaccine and all that sort of nonsense, which was false.
Mm.
Right?
False.
If you listen to all of the scientists who are being silenced, if you find their lectures and whatnot, and you listen to the scientists that are not in the pockets of the New World Order and the local governments, then they're telling the truth. Yes, we have climate change. The planet is warming up, but
It has done hundreds of
it's
times.
part of the natural cycle.
Mhm.
Because we've just left 10,000 years ago, we left an ice age.
Mm.
It was only a mini ice age, and now we're warming up. Also the fact that the carbon levels on this planet are the lowest they've been in hundreds of thousands of years, which is why plant size has reduced, and why now we're seeing more carbon because obviously with the planet heating up and our own interference is causing more carbon,
Mm.
not affecting the planet in much ways, but you're seeing more green life. So it's like the weeds that I have to clear up on my round.
Yeah. Well, that happens every summer.
Yeah, but there's more and more. The problem we got is too many people believe the government narrative.
See, you better play with
I mean,
it.
for decades they've been telling us what was it? The ice ages,
Yeah, we skipped one.
the ice caps are going to melt and flood the world by so what was it? Whatever year it was, and that never happened. We're going to
Mhm.
run out of petrol
It is
within.
happening
Are
though.
we going to run out of oil? Yeah,
No, the ice age.
the ice caps are
The
going to
ice
melt.
caps are melting.
Yeah, they are going to melt because we're in a natural heat up cycle of the planet.
And if they do, a lot of the planet will disappear.
There are theories
Not
that
all of it.
Antarctica, there's a landmass under Antarctica, under the ice sheets of Antarctica, and there are theories that there used to be a civilization living there, and that's been under the ice for hundreds of thousands of years.
So we might be lucky and
But
hopefully have a
before then,
preserved
it
body.
wasn't because the planet was a lot hotter, and
No,
that's
we
just the
weren't lucky
natural
enough
cycle.
then.
And no matter how much crap the government they put in the atmosphere to stop the sunlight reaching the planet or to block the heat from getting to the planet, no matter how much they do, it's not going to stop the natural heating up of the planet. It's going to happen, and if we don't adapt to the heating up of this planet, our species won't survive.
I won't survive.
Well, I won't. Well, most of our generation won't because we're not used to it. But with each generation, as long as it doesn't happen too fast.
When I was a child, we had blisteringly hot summers.
But you look at
Just like we're getting on and off
you look at
now.
Africans, right?
Yeah.
The closer they are to the equator, which is the hottest part of the planet, the darker their skin. right? Their skin evolved that way. We all evolved that way because we evolved at the equator, or that's what
Don't
all
forget the
archaeological and scientific evidence says to us. We evolved at the equator, so our most distant ancestors were darker skinned than any dark-skinned person on the
Except
planet
their
now.
hands and the bottoms of their feet.
Yeah, but it's the same as we are great apes after all. We are just monkeys. We are animals. There's
Yeah,
no
they've got
different.
lighter skin though.
Yep, no different from anything else, right? But we've had all these religions and all these bloody scientists saying, "Oh, we're better than the natural world." That's bollocks.
They're trying to destroy the natural world.
The natural world is as good
If
as
they
dead.
destroy the natural world, they destroy the human population.
If they get what they
hopefully
want,
them
which is
along
net
with us.
zero,
Yeah.
everything
Oh
dies.
well, yeah, them as well.
Now, if they get what they want, net zero, everything dies.
Yeah.
Everything. If they can keep pumping this shit into the atmosphere to stop the heat getting to us, to stop the planet warming up, everything dies because it's toxic to every living thing on this planet. The shit that they're pumping out into the atmosphere. And what happens when you pump stuff into the atmosphere? It falls to the earth. That's why our insects are dying off. That's why this year's lamb crop was pathetic, because most of the lambs were sick or deformed and couldn't be bloody used. This is why all this shit is happening, and it's this idiocy between Christians and Muslims and Jews. It's all a smokescreen. All this transgender issues in schools and all this sort of stuff. It's all a smokescreen. Everything is a smokescreen to stop us looking at what the fuckers at the top are doing. Because they want, like I said, they want a one world government. They want a one world police force. They want a subjective. They actually, in one of their things, they've stated they want two species of human. They want the elites and they want the rest of us, who will be dumbed down by eating their cancer, heart disease causing, chemically ridden foods and fake meats. You look at the American population right now. 50 years ago, America was not like it is now. Americans were healthy, fit, intelligent. Now you look at the general, what we see generalizing.
Yeah, they're not
They're,
intelligent.
they're not
Correct.
intelligent. They're
If
massively
what's his name
obese.
in charge.
They're massively obese. I mean, this is not every American, obviously, but they are the amount of problems American, the average American person has
That is
because of their
happening.
diet, because of their education system, and that is now happening here.
I was going to say, that's what I just
It's been
said.
happening here for the last 15, 20 years.
And we've got a lot of fat people. I mean,
Yeah,
take me
where
for
do you, no,
example.
no. When you
I'm
get older,
fat,
no, when you
but
get older, it's
I'm
natural.
not as big as somebody who went past my window this morning.
It's
Did it with the earthquake? Sorry.
it is not as the weight problem in this country is nowhere near as bad as it is in America. But yes, a lot of it is because of the foods that people are eating. Your body just because it's so much chemicals. I mean, in a lot of the cheaper stuff that we can afford, the poor people, there is genetically modified maize. All of this stuff and the crap they're coating our fruits and vegetables in to preserve their life, proven, scientifically proven, to cause cancer and heart disease and organ failures. Everything, our water polluted to crap.
I know.
This is happening. What happened in America is now happening here,
It'll happen in Europe as well.
and it
It'll
is
be
going to
happening
be in
all
Europe.
over.
This is the death of the Western world, as we know it, at
If it's
least.
the death of the Western world, then it must have something to do with the Muslims
Mm-mm.
because they're not Western.
It doesn't have anything to do with the Muslims. That's the thing. All these issues. If the people who rioted during the peaceful protests, who caused the riots, if they hadn't attacked that mosque, the level of violent response from the Muslims would not be where it is now. Because most Muslims are just like most Christians and most Jews and most Hindus and most every other religion.
Well,
They
the
just
head
want to
of that
raise their
mosque
families. They
went
just,
out with food and stuff for the rioters
yeah, that's what I mean.
afterwards,
That's
so
what I mean.
he's all right with it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If you're attacking one group of people, especially a very devout, seriously religious group of people like the Muslims, who in their Quran states quite clearly in multiple occasions, I've read the Quran, it states in multiple occasions to subjugate the enemies of Islam.
I thought it was a carbon copy of the Bible.
No. A
That's what they
completely
told
different.
me.
Look at Jesus. In the Bible, Jesus is the Son of God, the Messiah, right? In the Quran, Jesus is a prophet of God. Completely different.
Yeah, but it's like a carbon copy, but they've changed
Well, they
bits.
worship the same God.
Yeah.
It started with the Jews and their one true God. Jesus was a Jew. He did not found the Christian religion, nor did he found the Muslim religion.
No.
Um, don't know who founded the Muslim religion. What's their prophets? Their main important
Was
prophet?
Noah in the Quran?
No, Noah was in the Bible.
Who was in the Bible?
He led the Jewish people out of
He wasn't in the Quran.
Egypt. Um, but obviously the Romans created the Catholic religion, the Christian religion, as a way to dominate in their time. Um, was it Muhammad? Yeah, Muhammad I think was the main prophet of Islam, and he obviously had issues with women, judging, but then again so did the Christians,
We've always been slaves, the females of the species.
right?
Actually, no, we haven't. In some of the tribes in England,
But I mean, everybody's going on
women were
about
in
this is
charge.
a battle between Muslims and Christians. No, it's not. This is not a battle, a religious battle. And it shouldn't be a religious. Yes, the Muslims want to take over the world, the extremist Muslims, but so do the extremist Catholics.
Because they want more money,
Yeah,
the Catholics.
every extremist wants the world to mirror their view of the world. That is how extremism works. That is why they they hurt people. That is why they commit acts of terror. Most Muslim attacks of terror are not done towards other people. They're done to other Muslims of different Muslim sects. Like I told you earlier, Muslims don't have a centralized religion, like the
I
Catholics
know
or
they do.
Or
They're
the
like,
Protestants.
no, we've not got centralised religion.
We do. We have the head of our religion is the king.
Yeah, but we have loads of different
Yeah,
things
but there are
called
loads of
Protestant
you've got
religion.
loads of Protestant
Methodist, we've got
religions, right?
all sorts.
What are the Jehovah's Witnesses? At heart, they're Catholic. Jehovah's
Oh, they
Witnesses.
screwed my head up, didn't they?
Right, you look at the Jehovah's Witnesses. At heart, they're Catholic. So they're all there to the Catholic Church, but they're separate from the Catholic Church. See, there are so many different sects of religions, and all these different sects of
The
religion,
Jehovah's Witnesses put women down. We're
all
supposed to wear skirts and
yeah, but all
do
religions
all the
have
cleaning and washing and everything.
all religions have different groups that read their holy text and go, "This is what it means," and the
I know,
person next to them's gone, "No, that's not what it means. This is what it means," and that's how religious conflict
and
begins.
that's only men.
No,
Oh yeah.
but the Christian religion has always been anti-woman. Uh,
Well, because it was Adam and Eve. Because Eve was made out of a rib of Adam, and then she tempted Adam.
well, according to
That's what
stuff
they
I've read
used.
in the
That's
Old
a load
Testament,
of
Lilith was the
bollocks.
first wife of Adam.
Who?
Lilith.
No.
Yeah.
But in
I don't know what her name was.
but in
Adam
other
and Eve.
religions,
No,
no,
Eve.
Eve was the
I even
second.
thought Adam and Eve.
No,
Lilith
Adam
left the
and Eve.
garden and mated with demons to create the legendary monsters on our world, like the Cyclops and the
Giants.
Griffins and the Giants and all that sort of stuff. Right? That is what's in the Old Testament. The New Testament doesn't mention any of that shit.
I don't remember much of the
Right?
Old Testament.
But all religion
Don't remember
basically
much of the New
is
Testament.
based. I mean, the Christian religion is a perfect example. I don't know about the Muslim religion. I think they're very strict with their Quran. They stick to the word. The Christian Bible changes over time. But all
It
the
wasn't written
Christians,
when the things happened. That's why.
Christmas is a pagan festival,
Yes, I know it is.
midwinter festival,
All our pagan festivals were taken over by Christians.
and added to the Christian religion, which is why Christianity is supposedly not a true religion because the text changes.
Yeah, because
Whereas the
very
Quran
close.
is considered the only true religion because its text never changes.
Is that why they say it's that? Yeah. I
Muhammad
wanted to read the
supposedly,
Quran, but
uh,
nobody would let me.
well, you're a woman. Muhammad supposedly wrote the Quran, I think, and from Muhammad's own words, that is the religion. There is no deviation. There is no, what is it like saying under British law now? You can't even say, well, that doesn't match that, or that's wrong, or you can't say anything like that about the Quran anymore because now you can be done for religious intolerance and hate. What's that? Uh, there's nothing really we can do to survive all this Wi-Fi. All we can do is, if you believe in a God, pray to your God, stock up on stuff.
No, 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 no. Well, I've always wanted to believe there was something,
I believe
and
that
I think it was probably aliens that
I don't know. I don't know where life came from on this planet. I do know where. I don't know for sure, obviously,
Came
because,
from the
but
ocean.
I do strongly suspect we are not the only life form in this
And
universe.
apparently there was very, way, way back in time, there was very intelligent life that created aqueducts and all sorts of things.
Yep, you've got.
And then they died out, and that went with them until the Romans came along.
There is a legend. I don't know if it's legend. I don't know if it's proven, but the first. What were they called? One of the first great civilizations existed thousands and thousands of years ago.
Minoans,
No, Minoans are quite recent in history.
Atlantis.
It's,
They're
Atlantis is
supposed to
a
be very
legendary,
ancient.
but what you've got is what?
Aztecs.
No, Aztecs are quite recent. What?
Oh, the
Babylonians,
Babylonians. Oh yeah, they were supposed to.
right?
Ah, yeah.
Now the
They.
Babylonians had a legend because they translated their cuneiform, and they basically said there is a tenth planet in the solar system that its orbit is so massive around the sun that every 3,000 years, these aliens who live on this planet come to Earth, take as much water as they can take as much gold. And it is stated that the only reason the human race exists is because not the Babylonians, I can't remember the name of what the people, the aliens were called, but they were considered gods, and they had the seraphim, the angels, a slave race, to mine the resources from Earth that they wanted to survive. But the slave race rebelled against God. See where the Christian religion comes in? Uh-huh. So the slave race rebelled against God, or their gods, and were wiped out. So then you've got the leader of the gods told one of his subordinates, make us a slave race out of the existing creatures here. So they took ape and mixed ape DNA with their DNA, which created the human race, or at least one form of us, to be slave race, to mine the resources and whatnot. I mean, you look at Stargate,
Yeah, it's quite
right?
close, isn't it?
Lots of modern things are paralleled on that ancient story. Um, and then obviously when the gods left, they ordered their scientists who created us to wipe us out so that we would never be a threat to them. But he betrayed them, and you see that in a lot of like fantasy books where two gods, brothers fighting. So you've got God and the devil.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what a lot of religion, modern religion, is based on. It's stories passed down and made. It's like if you look at the ancient legend of dragons. Western dragons, our dragons, are fire-breathing, man-eating monsters who need to be killed by knights and champions. But if you go to China, their dragons are ancient and wise and benevolent to humans,
Water dragons.
right? And you have to look at both in China and in the West. We had a massive amount of fossils from the dinosaur years, and that's where the legend of dragons came from.
I think we're getting off topic now.
Yeah, this is just a general chit chat. Nobody's watching. It doesn't really matter.
Somebody might be listening, but they're not making anything of themselves,
No,
are they?
nobody's watching. Nobody ever watches my stuff. When I was a streamer, they never watched it. Um, I'm only doing this because this will get recorded and be on the channel. So if anybody finds it in 10 years when I'm dead, I will be remembered as that weird-looking conspiracy theorist who got it all right. But yeah, uh, but that is what it's based. So basically, and we're supposedly now is about the time when these aliens are supposed to be coming back to get their next lot of stores.
Jesus Christ.
See, there are so many different. Every religion. I'm not sure about the Quran because I haven't read that one in decades. I can't remember it. I can remember a few key points, but nothing major. But the Bible, which we had to read on a daily basis at school when we were kids, I remember a lot more. And most of the stories in the Bible are based on other religions that got hand-me-down tales from ancient civilizations like the Babylonians.
Yeah, but weren't the Babylonians, they were destroyed because they kept talking in tongues?
I'm not sure. There are several. At least I know for a fact there's one ancient civilization that was wiped out by what looks like nuclear weapons, and that's an ancient civilization. because there's craters in their cities which are radioactive even today, and obviously they were caused by a nuclear explosion. There are theories that the Egyptian temples were created not only as tombs, but the first ones were created to generate electricity, which Tesla basically proved was capable. I mean, we can get electricity now. We don't have to pay for it. There is electricity in the ground. We can tap it. There's electricity in the air. We can tap it. But
Yeah,
we're
and if you do
also
that, then you're stealing from the government.
yeah, because it's like
How is
water.
it they
Water is no longer
their products?
Because
water.
they own everything.
Yeah, water, which is supposedly the freest substance on the planet, is no longer free. We have to the whole we used to pay for the water companies to pump fresh, clean water to our taps and take away our waste, treat it, and then put it back into the system. Well, they've stopped treating our waste and just pumping it out to sea. Our pipes in this country are so old in most cases that and the contaminants in just the pipes, never mind all the chemicals they're putting in the water, like fluoride, which rots the teeth, and other things like that. Right? All of these things are in our water supply, but we now have to pay for the right to that water.
We have to pay for everything. It's a wonder they're not charging us
It's
for the
because
air.
it's because the elites decided, and they've actually said it in speeches. We don't believe that natural resources should be left for everybody to use. We believe they should be controlled by the corporations and the governments of the nation, of the world. So basically, we are no longer entitled to self-sufficiency. We are being more and more enclosed in a grip of corporate control.
Yeah, and if we want to be self-sufficient plant-wise, it's stealing. And
Yeah,
they used to leave the last 2 rows of a field were left for the poor people to come and get a cabbage or whatever.
yep.
But
But no,
now it's stealing.
that's not something that is generally looked on with kind words. But farmers have got it hard. They've got to try and bring a crop to market while they're being ripped off by the supermarkets. Everybody thinks farmers have an easy life. They don't.
Oh, I know they don't.
You know, a lot of farmers have second jobs now just to support themselves. The amount of because there used to be aid for the farmers, they used to get a payout, but the amount of crops that are just turned back into the soil because they don't look right for the supermarkets.
Well, do you know why they're turned back into the soil? The farmer's not allowed to sell them to anyone else. If
I
they
know.
don't, if the supermarkets don't want them,
Yep.
M&S has one of these adverts on television with Tom Courage, you know, the pub landlord, and they were saying if M&S don't like our crop, we have to plough it back into the ground. We are not allowed to sell it to anyone
Yeah.
else.
And that is where they've got the farming industry by the balls, and
I know it's
they're trying to
wrong.
shut down the farming industry because they don't want it. It's like when people set up communal gardens. There's one place in this country where a group of neighbours set up a communal garden on a bit of wasteland, cut it all down,
Bulldozed it.
bulldoze it. Um, they're trying to stop us growing, or they want us to stop growing our own fruits and veg in our gardens. Well, we've only got concrete slabs, so we can't do that. I've
We
tried
can't
growing
grow
stuff
them.
in the pots, but it's just
They die and they don't look very good.
it doesn't
I did
work.
grow tomatoes in the conservatory, but unfortunately they were very tiny ones. So
But that unfortunately is. I mean, we physically cannot afford to move out of this house. The average four-bedroom house is going for more than I earn a month at the moment, rent-wise. You know what I mean? We cannot afford to move away from it. I mean, the average
that's
two-bedroom
what I
flat.
was thinking of
Do you know what
doing
he's
now.
getting for upstairs?
If I sold the house, and there'd be enough for each of you to have a house.
No, they wouldn't, because you would get probably 200 grand for your house, a little less, probably a fair bit less because of it's run down and needs
Oh,
repair.
not my house. I'm
Ah.
talking about if I won a house.
I would strongly suggest, however, that you don't let anybody come in to appraise your house because councils have been given the right to forcibly buy properties that they deem to be um, run down, and every house that they buy at a reduced rate because they take away the charge for repairing the property, um, is then awarded to an immigrant, and it's happening in this country. You can't even own your own house now without the government going, "We want that, thank you."
Oh, you've never been able to. Because when they built Westwood Cross, there were some lovely houses up on that corner, the other side of Westwood Road. You know, opposite where
Oh, that was corporation.
they
Yeah, they
they compulsory purchased those.
yeah, no, they compulsory purchased them. Only the ones that refused to sell. Most people sold, but then the compulsory purchase. The few hangers on who didn't want to sell their houses, and yeah, that should not be allowed.
That shouldn't
If
be
it is,
allowed.
I mean, for a shopping centre,
And those houses would have been on the outskirts of it, so
and
they
look,
wouldn't actually been in Debenhams Way.
yeah, and look what happened since that shopping centre, that centralised shopping centre, which you'll notice,
Building a thing
yeah,
round.
yeah,
They've been planning that all
yeah, but
along.
you'll notice that shopping centre is within 15 minutes of every one of the local towns. This may have been built, what, now 15 years ago? Or a little bit longer, but this has been in the works for a fucking long time. So everyone from all of the towns can get to the shopping centre, and in every single town, look at how fucking down the local businesses have become. Look at how many shut down. Look at how many have now been bought out by the Londoners, and they're making their own business, like the place next door, and the amount of bloody places up the road that are
Well, it
London.
won't last long if they try and close all the little ones.
No, but they see the Londoners don't see it because they're middle class, they're protected, they're comfortable. They don't see what is actually happening from where we see it.
Well, I'm
Because
classed as middle class, but I can see it.
I'm working class.
I was working class, but I'm not anymore. I'm classed as middle class because I own my own house.
But I'm working class, and you used to be working class. We're much closer to the pulse of our nation than any middle class will ever be, or any rich prick will ever be. We see the way the country is, and we know what's going on. It's like most poor people know what's going on in this country, and we also know we're powerless to stop it because not enough people. We need the middle classes to realise what's going on and step up. The problem is they've woked the middle class. The middle class are the wokiest bunch of social butterfly morons on the planet.
There you go. Good boy. Good boy. Right, I'll
He,
leave you
he
alone
does
now.
like that draw.
I'll leave you alone now. I will.
But
Keeps
that
talking
is
every so often.
that is the situation. This country is fucked. There is nothing we can do about it short of outright civil war, and that will never happen because the British people no longer have the will.
It's not that we don't
The
have the
only
will.
the only people in this country who would stand up and fight are the poor people, and we are outnumbered by the foreigners, the army, the police, because every single one of those groups will be against us.
If we did stand up and fight, we would get killed just like
Yes,
those.
we would, as I've told Kirsty, which is why my plan is quite simple. If a leader stands to get us out of the situation we're in, who can combat the fake news and all of the crap that's going on in this country, then I'll rally to the flag. But
Yeah.
if nobody stands, then I will die on that doorstep defending my family from the Gestapo they're going to send in to forcibly inject my kids with their fucking vile serums. Because they
And they'll
will.
still do it then.
They will still do it, but I won't be here to see my kids die or become enslaved because I will die stopping them.
Well, let's just hope it's not going to happen for a long time.
2030, we have 5.5 years. We have 4 years of Keir Starmer, probably 5 years of Keir Starmer, because he's already bigging himself up for the next election. He's already stated in his speech this morning that the country's going to get a lot worse because he's going to rebuild the country's infrastructure, which will involve churning all of us white English people into the ground while protecting all of the foreigners and building an infrastructure on them.
I'm depressed enough though. So let's just talk about something else.
Okay, what do you want to talk about?
About pussycats.
Pussycats. Yeah, well, I won't tell you what the New World Order has planned for our pets then.
Well, Ravensbourne.
Oh no, you tell them. You tell them what they're gonna do.
We won't be allowed to keep pets. That's what their plan is, to remove all of our pets, as long with our children, because our children will be educated in state-controlled establishments. We want to have access to them.
Well, a lot of these children will not survive.
Yeah.
No,
Because I tell the government one thing: you take my fur babies from me, I'm gunning for you, and that's a promise, not a threat. Because I don't like threats.
the government don't care. We are tiny little voices amongst, as I said in one of my TikTok videos, we are a tiny little voice amongst billions of voices on a tiny little planet that has trillions of life forms,
And
or
when the
gazillions.
aliens come back, what will they do?
And if there are aliens out there, they'll find a dead planet, basically. They'll find the elites in charge of a small slave force, because they don't need us, most of us, anymore. Because most jobs now can be automated with computers and robots. They don't need us.
And what happens when the computers go down?
No, that's what I mean. They'll be keeping some people alive to keep the infrastructure going. The rest of us, they don't need us. We're just weak. We're just chaff to be gotten
We'd
rid of.
supply most of the money.
Yeah, but they don't need the money. They've got the money already. These people, these elites, have more money than you can conceive. They have more money than the total GDP of 10 fucking countries individually. They have so much money, they could buy super yachts every day for the rest of their lives and still leave enough money for their 10th descendant to buy super yachts for the rest of their lives. These people do not need money. What they need, what they want, is absolute, complete, and total dominance over everybody else.
Despots.
That is what they are. And we are too weak and.
Never mind, darling. Mummy loves you.
It's not me I worry for, it's them.
Yeah, I know.
Because what
And
future
as
have they got?
I've got a lot of shit on my mind anyway. Fortunately, I don't think Leslie or Tony will be here. But that's upsetting me to think about. So let's tone it down a bit.
Okay.
I
So
know these things are going to
we're
happen.
talking about putty cats. I've actually got to stop this shortly because Seth's got his judo tonight, so I want to get their dinner done early.
Oh look, you can see my arm.
Yes.
Oh, disappeared.
Yeah, that's about 10 seconds behind that.
Hasn't it? No. Thing.
Yeah, thing, yes.
Actually, I'd say it's more like about a bloody 30 seconds behind that.
Yeah, now you got it.
So I might have to look at my settings and
Now
see.
you're counting.
Mm.
Yep.
You're about 30 seconds behind.
I'm going to the loo.
Hawkily dorkily.
So I've got to get going, haven't I? Before the 5 o'clock rush starts. If I can get on a bus without all the people waiting in front, I'll be happy.
Well, you should be alright this week. It's next week you got to worry because everybody's back at work.